All right, let's see here. I'll wait a little bit before I start. See if anybody's going to hop on. While I'm waiting, I'll kind of tidy everything up a little bit. These are just all my tools that I used. Let's see here. Let's see here. I'll put all this other stuff up here out the way. Let's see, get this stuff here out of the way. Stuck. There we go. Actually, I'm just going to set this right here out the way. Okay. If you hear some noise in the background, it's just my son and my dog. Any rate, so I teased this one. This is the second one that I had. The first video I showed you taking apart the Wadsn. That's the single laser model only with the LED near IR illuminator. This here has the laser module. And so, hold on a minute. Hey, Junior. Yeah. Close my door. I'm streaming. Anyway.
I use your bathroom.
All right, cool. This is the laser module that I teased before. So when I told you guys on the other video that you can upgrade these lasers, this is the one that I'm talking about. So if you can see it here, this little housing here, it comes apart. And you can put whatever kind of laser in here that you want. But in here is a near IR laser, and then it's a green laser. And I think it might be full power. If you want to know what power output is going to your laser, then what you're going to have to do is you're going to have to check the outputs. But since I don't care for this, I'm not going to do that. But if you see these little output here, you just put your voltmeter on it. Get your digital voltmeter. And that way you can tell what output. And also, as always, make sure you have one of these little grounding cables and a grounding mat so you don't fry the delicate electronics in your laser. All right. So as I said before, if your laser isn't focusing the right way, you can always replace it, and you can put on here a culminator But I'm not doing that for this model. It's fine for what I'm using it for. I just wanted to hold 0. So even though this is a more expensive model, I still had a lot of micro movements and wobbling in it. So I disassembled it, and the first thing that I did with it is I potted it out, and I didn't use epoxy on it. I normally use, when I pot stuff out, I'll show you. I normally use like this liquid rubber, which is actually, what do they call this stuff? It's liquid tape. But in this instance, I just use pure silicone, which is good because it will make sure that water doesn't get in here. Because even though this is a different housing, it's some funny things that Wadsn did on it. Like, if you look at the back, see, that's actually open, so it can allow water and everything to get into it. So probably what I would do is, once I get everything assembled, I would probably put a little bit of silicone in here to keep it from getting water up in there. That little opening is just meant for, where is it at? It just has a little connectors here. See that right there? That just fits in that little slot. And it just gives a little more reinforcement so that the housing doesn't break. The other thing that I did to this housing here, because this was a bunch of wobbling on it, I glued the spring down with hot glue. Unlike the other model, this one has this little adjustment piece that goes on top of the spring, and the way you adjust it is completely different. It's not like the other one that has a little turret style. It has these little brass pieces that when you tighten them, they go, I guess you can say they go up and down. So what I did was, I don't know if you can see it, I just put a little bit of just foam mat, this stuff here on the end of it, to kind of cushion it. Even though this is going on Junior's AR, I don't have as much recoil as the shotgun. I still wanted to make it as accurate as I can, so I don't have all that wobbling around with the laser. And the other thing that I did was I made this out of foam. And what this does is it will cradle the laser. So let's see, can I do it where I can do it with one hand? So it'll fit in like this, and then the laser will come out through here. Hopefully that'll make it where it doesn't bump around or anything. This is the one you can buy for about $39 to $40 on AliExpress. This is the one that you want if you want to tinker around with it and do upgrades on the laser, because you can get to it. So if you wanted to make it a full power laser, you could, something else. If you're going to play around with these, make sure you get eye protection. You've been warned so you don't blind yourself. And this is near IR, so don't do stupid stuff like trying to look at the laser to see if it's on or anything like that. I mean, that should be, that should be obvious, because you can blind yourself. But But this is a green laser and it's pretty bright. I don't ever stare at it. Unless I'm at the range and I'm trying to set it or whatever, I'll just use these to protect my eyes. But in a practical sense, it's not really practical to walk around with these and use it because they're really dark. But just when I'm zeroing the laser in, I use them. Because my goal is I want to get it so that whenever I'm firing the AR, it's zeroed in to the point where I can just aim with the laser and not use the scope. But whenever I was firing it, we always had too much wobble. So that's what we're trying to eliminate. And the Wadsn is a decent platform. It may not be the best, but it has a lot of things going for it. Mainly what I like about the Wadsn is I like the way the ground is. As you can see this, it's all soldered and it's all like these little metal springs that they bent. It's not like a little wire. Like a lot of them that you will find, there's just a little ground wire going to this. They're just soldering on and then you lose a lot of connection. With this, you won't. And this is the reason why I potted it out. Let's show you what I did here. So I just put silicone on both sides to kind of keep all these little components from coming loose. The other reason why I use clear silicone is so you can see what it looks like, because if I had used the liquid tape, you wouldn't be able to see what it looked like. And another reason why a lot of times they don't tell you this when you see these videos or people talking about these, but if you look at the real PEQ 15, this is intended to be a lens and it's supposed to be able to culminate. This is not a culminator, this is just clear glass. But if this was the real one, it would be a lens that you could actually change the way the beam focus. And another weird thing about this particular PEQ 15, if you look at it, there's no glass in this one. So like the one that I have, it is a glass piece right here, but it's no glass or anything. It's all open. Doesn't really matter. That's just less things for the laser to have to go through. And it also too makes it easier at some point if you ever want to put a lens or something in here. You could easily put a lens. You could put two lenses in there, and if you want to make it, if your beam isn't the way you desire it to be, if you want a little more tighter beam or you want to focus it better, it's easier to replace it if it doesn't have anything in there. Also, what I did on the back of here is the two wires for the what is this thing here? It's called the LED flood on here. I just hot glued them so they don't come loose under recoil. Now, something else you can do if you want to, you could also do the flashlight mod on here, where you take not the flashlight, headlight mod. You can get the headlight laser, which is a white light laser designed for car headlights, and you can actually replace this LED with one of those lasers, and they're really bright. I'm not sure how much heat that would actually produce, because there's not really any heat sink on here. I'll be concerned with heat. But the laser output probably from this board, it isn't going to be where that's going to be a problem, because I think, what are these little things here? I don't think they're more than 3 volts a piece. How many volts are on these little lithium batteries? These 1, 2, 3s. I believe they're 3 volts. I don't see on here. I'm trying to look on it now. How many volts? Yeah, 3 volts. So that would be 6 volts maximum. And there's probably some type of buck converter on here. And some type of voltage regulator. So we can see here. Let's see. Here's another thing that I'm showing you. So I put silicone in here. Unlike the other one where these little dovetail pieces were actually full of resin, this one is hollow. So I filled it with silicone to kind of absorb the recoil a little bit. And then I'm also put it on the mounts. That way it won't come loose under firing, hopefully. We shall see though. I think with that and beefing up this turret design here, I think it'll hold 0 now. It was a little wobbly with these little turrets when you turn them. Even though this isn't a crane plug, this is the one that's like a not an earplug, like a headphone plug type jack for the airsoft, but that's fine. You can make these things as good as you want, as how much time and effort you want to put into them. But in my opinion, though, you probably can get them to perform fairly good without paying $2,000 for the real one. Because here's the thing, even if you did buy a PEQ 15 manufactured by L3 Harris, is going to be the lower power version of the laser. So it's not going to be a full power unit anyway. So if it's not going to be a full power unit anyway, you might as well just have the airsoft. And if you're worried about it being reliable, well, that depends on what kind of skills you have. Because most of the time, the board does not burn out. What happens is something comes loose under the recoil. So if you take your time and glue everything down properly, you probably won't ever have any trouble with these. Don't know. Something else I don't do, I don't glue these back together. I just screw them back. The main reason is that I may want to do some more work on it later, and if I put like I'll show you. Normally I'll put some permatext like this on it, but if I do that, it's too hard getting these things apart. So what I'll just do is I'll just put it back together. You can use that silicone grease that's meant for electronics, that waterproofs electronics. That's what I would use. I would just put a little bit on, maybe a Q-tip, and just put some on like this. So when I put it back together, you will have that silicone in there to keep the water out. But I'm not planning on getting this thing wet and pouring water and doing stupid stuff like that on it. Because like if you just got like a little splash of water on it, it would be fine. But I'm not planning on submerging it or sticking it underwater. Like a real PEQ 15, it's waterproof to a certain depth. I'm not sure how deep you could take it. But since I'm not Special Forces or Navy SEALs, there's no reason for me to be underwater with my rifle. So that's completely useless in my opinion. I mean, I guess if you're duck hunting or something and you're in the water or something, maybe. I don't know. But when I put these guys back together, then I'm going to go to the range and then I'll do some range videos and we shall see how well it performs. I'm hoping everything holds up pretty good. I'll probably buy me another one that I can go take it apart more. I do want some type of focus on this flashlight. I wish they would have gave you a focusable flashlight, but they didn't. So at some point I may work with that. So we shall see. Let's see what else. I don't know if I covered everything. I think so, almost. Yeah. That should be it. But that's what I'm going to do. We're going to go to the range and then see how well it performs. If you ever break any of these components, you can just buy the dummy housing and you can use the dummy to repair it. Oh, also too, on these little screws that are right here that are in the plastic, I put hot glue on them so they don't come apart. Let's see here. I may feel these little, once I get everything working the way I want it, I may fill these little screws, I may fill them with hot glue just to keep them from backing out. I don't know yet. We shall see. We should see how well she performs. Don't know. I don't know how many other people like playing around with these PEQs. Yeah, it's a fun little hobby playing around with them. For what they are, they shouldn't cost $2,000 though. I mean, it's not like it's look at these just like little lasers. They shouldn't be that much. Unless they have some really good culminators in them. Culminators are kind of expensive. If you see my other videos that I did on the night vision, I showed the culminators, using them as illuminators. Culminators can get kind of expensive, but I don't know. Even that being said, 2,000 is still kind of expensive for a laser that's not even full power. And do you really need that? Like, I mean, if you're military, law enforcement, special forces, or something like that, I could see that. But just for a civilian, probably the upgraded airsoft is fine for 90% of the people. Because here's the thing, right? If you got something that's better than nothing. Look at my frame rate dropping on this streaming. I don't know. Could be the app doing it. I only have 2 bars, so maybe that's the reason why. Normally when I use the YouTube app, look like I get more people in the stream than I do when I use the Streamlabs app. But I like the Streamlabs app a little better though. You can put overlay and stuff like that with it. I wish the YouTube let you use overlays and stuff, but they don't. Okay, I just see the comment. How you doing? I guess it's Nora Kaharla. I guess I'm pronouncing that right. Don't know. But thanks for looking at my stream anyway. We'll probably go to the range. I'll try to go this weekend. No, not this weekend, this week. June just got back from drill, so we can go out there now. I was waiting for him to get back, so now that he's back, we can go out there to the range. And I got some more stuff in that I need to show. I got some rechargeable batteries and stuff for the PEQ. Because I noticed I got so much stuff that uses the CR123 batteries that I just got rechargeable batteries now. That way I won't have to keep buying batteries all the time because they get expensive. And I got my lens in. I'm working on trying to see if I can get this lens to focus properly. That's it right there. That's the lens up in there for the PVS 14. So hopefully when I got the one lens is what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to I used a computer program and it was telling me the lens that I needed so that I could change it from having two lenses to one. I'm gonna see will that work. But the problem I have with that one is I can't set the frame rate with that digital camera, so I don't know what I need to do to get this lens to work. So I'm working on that now. I don't know. Has any of y'all ever played around with these PEQ 15s? Had any trouble with them holding zero? I know people use them for airsoft and stuff, but I don't know. Some of them, unless you upgrade, I don't see how they hold up recoil to the airsoft pistols. Cause sometimes the turrets are so wonky whenever you bump them, they keep getting like micro movements. That's probably what we'll do. I finally did put the new light on my shotgun. I like the way the older one looked better, but this is a newer vampire style light. So we shall see. I don't know if there's anything else I need to go over with this laser and stuff. I think I've been pretty thorough with it. There's not many components in it really, if you look at it. I would love to get my hands on the L3 Harris to tear it apart to see what's inside of it. I can't find any pictures or anything of what it looks like or what the real one looks like inside of it. Or the D-Bowl. A2. I think the Diebold A2 is technically a PEQ 15 as well, but they're made by two different manufacturers and they look completely different. So I like the Diebold A2 clones because most of those are aluminum. So you don't usually have the issues that some of these PEQ 15s give you because they're a composite or either just made out of regular plastic. Aluminum is much better. So maybe I'll get to the range tomorrow. And then we will probably, I'll probably show some of these training pistols that I use. They're just essentially like plastic toys, but they do have like a shell extractor where they actually make the shells kick out and the slide moves back. So I use them for training because whenever I'm practicing, I like to get used to not having my fingers in the way of the slide moving back since I shoot both left and right handed. My frame rate keeps dropping. Might be because the Junior's on the PlayStation. That's probably it. Wait a little bit before I get off to see if anybody else is going to hop on. Also, too, want to thank everybody who's taking the time to subscribe to my channel, and please also give my videos a like. That'll help me out with the algorithm. But I've been doing fairly decent. I almost have 500 subscribers, so that's pretty good. I don't have that many more to go. And then I think I unlock some of the channel benefits for being monetized. I believe at 500 I can have I can do like a monetized channel where I can get super chats and stuff like that. And also sell merch in the merch store. But we shall see. Oh, I did forget to mention, I cut this foam. I actually used this attachment for my soldering iron. I used the X-Acto knife attachment. That helped me cut through the foam pretty good. Let me stick this. So that's probably gonna be about it, people. I might hop back on a little bit later, and we might talk about some more things tonight, but for right now, that's going to be it. Unless anybody got any questions, which doesn't look like anybody does. So that's it. I will see everybody later.